Hi, here today I'm reviewing Captain Marvel, the latest Marvel Cinematic Universe film that just came out. So I'm coming at this from a position of being quite a big fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm also a big comic book collector. So I've been really kind of looking forward to Captain Marvel. They've been pushing it quite a lot, and I've been interested to see what they're going to do with the character. Um, So the film itself, let's just get into it. There are going to be slight spoilers throughout this review, so be careful if you haven't seen the film. Um, so yeah, the Kree and the Skrulls are two alien races that are at war. We're following a Kree character called Veers who has no memory, but she has these secret powers that she doesn't know how to control or understand. She's part of this thing called the Kree Space Force, who are kind of like the elite soldiers for the Kree who are responsible for taking out Skrulls, and she goes on a mission to try and take out some Skrulls. She ends up on Earth, and the story kind of picks up there where she teams up with Samuel Jackson's younger Nick Fury, agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., and her journey along the way of discovering who she really is, what her powers mean, and the truth about the war that's been going on between the Kree and the Skrulls. And yeah, that's the basic story. So let's get into the movie. Um, it was solid. It was a solid entry. I think it disappointed me in some ways because it felt more like a Marvel Phase One film to me than the level it should be at, considering where Marvel is at the moment in terms of their like the films they're putting out are pretty amazing. Like everyone's kind of like solid, getting better and better and better and better, and culminating in these amazing epic films like Civil War and Infinity War and Endgame that's coming next month. I'm really looking forward to that. So I had high hopes for Captain Marvel because I thought that the level that Marvel are at the moment, they were going to knock it out of the park again. And in some ways, I feel like they played it very, very safe with Captain Marvel. It's kind of mid-level like film in the series. I'd compare it, like I say, to a Phase One film. I'd compare it to Thor. There's certain parallels there, like fish out of water, magical kind of lands that are at war with other people, and it's in terms of storytelling, it doesn't do anything special. It doesn't do anything new. Um, there are a couple of twists and turns in respect of the Skrulls are the bad guys, but it turns out that they're not really the bad guys. They're actually the good guys. They're just refugees trying to find a place to call home, and the Kree are actually like hardcore racists who want to wipe out the Skrulls, and so they're not as nice as Veers thinks that they are. Um, so yeah, it was slightly disappointing in that respect. As a film, it was decent. Marvel haven't made a bad film as far as I'm concerned. They've made some kind of bad choices here and there, and the films have suffered in terms of quality. But overall, they've never made a bad film. Each film that they've made has something in it that's made it decent to watch. I've always enjoyed watching every Marvel film, even the ones that are considered bad Marvel films. Um, there were a certain number of issues I had with this film. First and foremost, Captain Marvel herself, the actress. I don't know if it was the way that she was written or the way that she was directed, but the character is just boring. This is like she's supposed to be carrying this film. She's Captain Marvel. She starts off as a blank slate, which is the point of her character in the beginning. She is a blank slate. She doesn't know who she is, and over the course of the film, she's going on this kind of arc where she's on Earth. She's finding out things about her past. She finds out that she's actually from Earth. She has all these connections to Earth. She's a fighter pilot. The Kree have kidnapped her and wiped her memories, and kind of she finds out loads of stuff which should be character defining, character developing, And I just don't feel like she does develop at all over the course of the film. I feel like where she is at the beginning and where she is at the end, after everything that's happened in between, there's not a lot of difference there in terms of her character, and just quite disappointing because you look at other Marvel film characters and how they've developed over the course of their films, and it's very clear. It's a very clear character arc. They're very good at that. You know, self-contained films. The character starts in a place and ends up in a completely different place. So you know, the original Iron Man, for example, Doctor Strange. You know, the characters start in a completely different place to where they finish. Captain Marvel, I feel she starts as a kind of emotionless, boring character, and she ends in a very similar place. And all the stuff that should have changed her, you know, the discovery that she has all these memories of Earth and that she had a life there and that she has got friends and you know people who she treat her like family. It feels like that should have had more of an impact on her. But to me, it was like once that revelation had been made, that was done. It was like kind of, oh, I know you. I used to kind of hang out with you and your kid, and but yeah, I'm gonna go on now to this massive space battle at the end, and none of that's gonna mean anything to me. So I don't know if that was just me. I don't know if it's like I say, the actress throughout the film, she's not the most charismatic lead character that Marvel have ever had. You know, I don't know if it's Brie Larson's fault. I haven't seen her in a lot of things, so I don't know what her acting capabilities are like. I know that she won an Oscar for The Room, so you know she's got to be a good actress. I just feel like in this film, you know, there's countless like debates online about it. You know, the fact that she very rarely smiles, she very rarely shows any emotion. The only time the character seems to come alive is when she's interacting with Nick Fury, but there's not enough of that. You know, they needed to kind of develop that more. The other issue that I have with the film is that it's set in the 1990s, and I can't see any real reason why that was the case. I kept expecting somewhere along the way that the film would reveal a reason why it was set in that timeline, that time period. Didn't happen. Um, the only thing they do with it is there's a couple of like you know funny moments where they talk about dial-up internet and AOL and obviously Blockbuster Video and a lot of the soundtrack is 90s music, but in terms of the plot, I don't feel like it was necessary to set it back then. People would argue that it's giving you kind of background characterization from Nick Fury, but I don't feel like I need to know much more about Nick Fury than I already do. Like being a badass, like super spy with a mysterious past. That's all I want to know about Nick Fury. I don't want to know what he was like when he was an idealistic young Shield agent who was like you know trying to save the world. I it, it just it's like James Bond. James Bond is like a badass super spy. That's all you need to know about him. You know that's it. Um, so giving us all of this background information it wasn't necessary. They could have set Captain Marvel anywhere between the original Avengers and then Avengers Infinity War, and they could have made it work. I don't know why they had to set it in the 90s. Um, they also reveal how Nick Fury lost his eye in what I think is the most ridiculous thing that Marvel have ever done. You know, the tone that they went for with that was completely play for laughs. Whereas you look at the tone in Captain America, Winter Soldier, where Nick Fury's kind of like, you know, last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye, and you're thinking, oh my god, some serious shit went down for that to happen, and then they show how it happens in this film, and they play it just as a joke, and it's just like, no, come on, guys, it's a disservice to the character. It's really, and then you've got the cat. You know, I've read loads of reviews where everyone's banging on about this cat. The cat is like the star of the show, and the only thing I would say to that is, if the cat is the star of the show that steals the movie, what does that say about the movie? You know, it's a cat. That's it. If you like cats, okay, the cat's there. It provides a lot of comic relief. Um, I can't say much more about that. It's a cat. You know, I don't know. I'm not a cat person personally. Maybe if it was a dog, I'd feel a lot different. But no, it was a cat, and it's just a cat that's there for comic relief. Um, in my opinion, it didn't steal the film in any kind of respect at all. So yeah, in some ways, I feel like Marvel did play it very, very safe with Captain Marvel. Um, they, I think they just wanted a placeholder for something between Infinity War and Endgame. They just wanted something to break that up, and I think that Captain Marvel was there. They also wanted to introduce Captain Marvel because it looks like she's going to be going forward in the MCU. It looks like she's going to be kind of like the face of Marvel from now on, and the Avengers and things like that. Which I think, I'm not sure I'm going to be on board with that, because I don't feel like this film has endeared her to me in any way as a character, and I hope that she doesn't come into Endgame and be the one that makes the difference. You know, the one that kind of ultimately beats Thanos, because I'd feel like really ripped off if that happened, because she's just come out of nowhere and she's not been developed enough. You've got other characters that are stronger than her, character, like, you know, personality wise. Um, Her powers as well is another issue that I had, in terms of they're very vague, they're very non kind of. There's no limit. Seemingly, she can do anything. She's like ridiculously overpowered, and the problem is when you get characters that are ridiculously overpowered, it takes like away all the drama, all the tension surrounding that character, because it's like once she comes into her powers, she's just unbeatable. It's just it's ridiculous, and there's no kind of power defining there. It's just whatever she needs to do, she can do it. You know, oh, there's a fleet of ships up there. I'll just go and wipe them all out. Oh, there's rockets heading towards Earth. Oh, I'll just destroy all of them. Oh, I can shoot lasers out of my eyes and my hands and my ass. You know, I can do whatever I want. Um, I don't know. Maybe the Russo brothers can make me like her more in Endgame, and I really hope that they do. Um, but as for Captain Marvel, the film, I would give it maybe a 4 or 5 out of 10. It's not a bad movie in any way. It's just it's kind of Marvel playing it safe, you know. Um, there are some good performances in the film. Ben Mendelsohn is really good as the like kind of lead Skrull guy, although he does have a really bizarre Australian accent for some reason. I don't know why he decided to play it that way. It didn't make any sense. It kind of took me out of the character slightly. But overall, he was really good. His performance, Samuel L. Jackson, always. I love Samuel L. Jackson. Um, Unfortunately, like Jude Law was good. I liked him in it. Unfortunately, Brie Larson let me down. You know, I just didn't connect with her character at all, which is bad when she's the lead character. But like I say, I think under a different director, it could be completely different. So I look at Thor and the character progression he's had. You know, you go from the original Thor to the Dark World to Thor Ragnarok, and you see how that the character was completely reimagined and made to look cool and be amazing. So I'm hoping the same kind of thing can happen with Captain Marvel. But generally, overall, if you like Marvel films, I would recommend going to see it. It's not vital, I don't think, to see if you're just a casual moviegoer. Um, but you know, yeah, 4 or 5 out of 10. That's what I'd give it. So, not quite so marvelous, unfortunately. Okay, I'll catch you guys later. Thank you very much.